Is it wrong that I'm excited because these stories apparently ended in the ultimate betrayal?
Yes, it's wrong. Very, very wrong.
But I'm excited. First story, my best friend sent my husband spicy photos. I need advice figuring out what to do. Problem solved. I'm just kidding. Guys, kidding. Absolutely kidding. I do not encourage or support physical violence. I mean, does it look like I punched someone? Absolutely not. I would though.
Catch me outside, how about that?
I genuinely hope that you guys can convince me that I'm overreacting, but I feel like my life has collapsed. I've been married to my husband for 15 years and we have a teen daughter. So like any couple that's been through a lot, we've obviously experienced the ups and downs, the highs and lows over the years. We both have busy schedules and we haven't been extremely consistent in the bedroom, but we make sure to find time for ourselves alone at least once or twice a month. On a recent Saturday, our daughter was at a sleepover, so I was hoping to have some intimate time with my husband. I spent probably 20 minutes cleaning up the kitchen and then I went to our bedroom. When I walked in, I quickly realized that he was touching himself sexually, we will say, to something on his phone. He pulled up his pants and tried to act like everything was normal when I came in, but I'm not stupid. I'm not opposed to self-acts, though it does make me feel a bit inadequate. This is not the first time I have caught him doing it, so I asked him to tell me what was on his phone. He said no and walked out of the room, but I followed him and eventually got him to show me. He was looking at a photo of my best friend in lingerie. Who wants to be my cellmate at that point? Because I'm going to jail. At that moment, I wanted to combust. I was convinced that they were sleeping together and that my whole life would fall apart. I yelled and I screamed and I don't know exactly what I said, but I cried a lot and so did he. After a while, my husband convinced me to hear him out and he profusely apologized and he said that it would never happen again and it was the stupidest thing he ever did. Yeah, it's stupid because you got caught, but it was a great idea 10 minutes before while you were whacking it. Let's keep this PG, Joss. Breathe. I told him that it felt like he was cheating. He promised that he never would, but he acknowledged that he had breached a line that he should never have. My husband tried to explain the situation like it was an innocent interaction. He said that he had been texting my friend, which I knew he did once in a while. I text her husband too sometimes, though mostly in a group chat, about possibly getting me lingerie as a gift sometime. He says that since we have similar curvy body types, he asked her for some advice and she went to the store, tried some on and sent him photos of her recommend. Shut up. I'm getting so annoyed. In what world? Crazy. I will gladly go to a store for my friend's husband, pick some hot outfits out and be like, here you go. I'll wrap them for you, give them to her. She'll love these. These will look great on her. No problem. That is insane. I'm gonna go try them on, take pictures and send them to my... That makes me sick.
You make me sick!
I would be mortified if my friend's husbands saw me in lingerie. No thanks. This is not my story. I get way too worked up. In my mind, that's an insane explanation. Never in a million years would I send photos of myself in underwear to my best friend's husband, even if he asked for recommendations. My husband showed me all of his texts, and that was basically what they were saying, but it doesn't make any sense to me. There were 3 photos in total, but I only had to look at one to feel confident that she knew what she was doing. She was wearing a tiny sheer set that seemed to emphasize the fact that she does not have a single speck of hair down there. My husband promised to block her number and never do something that's stupid ever again. I don't know that I believe him, but I also don't know what else to do. I still am so angry at both of them. I still have not said a single word to my friend about this, and I don't know that I will have the heart to do so for a while. She clearly knows something is up because I haven't responded to her texts or seen her since it happened. I would welcome any advice that you have. Well, tell her husband. I wonder how he would feel about his wife trying on lingerie and sending the recommendations. Grow up. Anyways, we have an update and it came a month later. Basically, you guys were right. My husband cheated on me. No, I'm shocked. So he has been staying somewhere else for the last week. It's crushing. I did not send the photos to the group chat like many of you told me to. I probably would have been that petty. But I did talk to my friend's husband. Afterwards, he approached her and she told him everything. Apparently, she had sex with my husband a handful of times and sent him many photos on Snapchat. She says they both agreed a couple months ago to stop, but I don't really care. I never want to see her or talk to her again in my life. My husband again apologized over and over and insisted that he would never do such a thing again, but I don't think this is going to work. The cheating is really bad, but the lying is an absolute heartbreak. We haven't told our daughter yet because I'm not sure that I have any of the words right now. I'm sorry, girl. I mean, I'm cracking a lot of jokes over here, although I'm not really joking, but it's entertaining because it's not my drama. But this is a real heartbreak. That is horrific. That kind of betrayal from both parties is you're mourning the relationship of a best friend and a husband all at the same time. You're losing two of your closest people. It's awful, 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 awful. Sending recommendations. Like, you must think I'm so stupid. I need a drink. I need to calm down.
I need to calm down.
Next story. Hopefully it doesn't make me as angry as the last one. My ex-best friend of 10 years wants me to forgive her for sleeping with my exes. I'm already annoyed. Would you look at that? So my ex-best friend, let's call her Andrea, was my best friend for 10 years. We're at a party. I brought my fiance of a year with us. We're about 5 to 8 drinks in and everyone is feeling it. I went off to go talk to another friend while Andrea and my fiance sat at a table on the outside deck. I go back about 15 minutes later and my fiance tells me he needs to talk to me discreetly after she gets up and walks away. He tells me she asked him, why her? Why does everyone always go for her? Why does no one go for me? And then proceeds to say, would you ever date me? Now at that moment, I don't know if I fully believed him. About a year later, oh, so we just brushed that off? Okay. About a year later, I broke up with my fiance for about 3 months. I started hooking up with another guy that I had known. We will call him Colby. One night I threw a party and it got kind of crazy. I was not feeling well and I was in the bathroom. While I was in the bathroom, Andrea was all over Colby. Someone had told me later that night, and as I was on Snapchat posting stuff, she takes pictures with Colby and is basically on top of him and sticking her tongue out. She sends it to me while I am on my phone, but again, I didn't really think much of it. 2 weeks later, a mutual friend says Andrea is now sleeping with Colby and that she slept with another ex of mine after we had broken up. I messaged her and I asked her, are you sleeping with Colby? And did you sleep with other ex? She plays it off like she has no idea what we're talking about and says she would never do that to me. I asked, are you sure? If you like him, just be honest so I can stop wasting my time with Colby. But also, I wouldn't want to be sleeping with him at the same time. No.
Ew, no.
And then she starts gaslighting me and asking why would I believe mutual friends? I didn't push it after that because I did not want to start a fight with her. One night I looked at a Snapchat map and it showed Colby and Andrea in the same location and I knew in my gut. I expected it from a guy, but not my best friend. I asked again, she blew up and finally admitted it after gaslighting me for 3 weeks. Then tried to make me out to be the bad guy and said, you always make everything about you and you guys weren't even in a real relationship, and then a bunch of other crappy things. I got into a relationship with Tyler a few weeks later, so I stupidly forgave her. 7 months later, me and Tyler take a break. I already know where this is going, girl. The pattern is there. We all attended a party together and I saw her flirting with him, and flashbacks of Colby came back, and long story short, we fought again and didn't talk for a very long time. A year later, I had moved out of state and she's in a relationship with Tyler now and is pregnant with his child. I now know all of my feelings were right. I mean, her last 3 relationships were all of my exes. Another year later, she says she misses me and is sad I moved out of state and doesn't apologize for anything. I told her I don't hold grudges, but I don't think I could ever fully be her friend again. Now, in edit, I have blocked and removed her on everything. Should have been done sooner, but what's done is done, and I've learned my lesson. I would hope so, girl. Like, how many times does a friend have to show you that they're not actually your friend, you know? However, it does not stop there. We got lucky. We got a final update that came 3 years later, very recently, June 8th, 2026. Let's see where everyone ended up. Is she still with Tyler? Hey everyone, I randomly came across this post after not thinking about it for a long time and figured I'd give a real update since a lot has changed. It's been over 3 years since everything went down with Andrea, Colby, and Tyler. After I made my original update, I fully stuck to cutting Andrea off and I have kept her blocked and no contact ever since. That was honestly one of the best decisions I made for my peace of mind. So the actual update on the situation. Andrea ended up staying with Tyler for about a year, and as I told you all before, they had a baby together. That relationship fell apart after Tyler cheated on her, and shortly after their breakup, he even tried reaching out to me again. The audacity, Tyler, which I obviously didn't entertain. After all that, Andrea is now with Colby. Yes, the same Colby from my original post? Your fiance? So I guess when she asked him, would you ever date me? The answer was yes. Cool. So basically, she ended up in long-term situations with both of the main people involved in all of this. As for me, I stayed in the relationship I moved out of state for. We've now been together for years and things are amazing. We're building a life together, both settled into our careers, and we've been talking seriously about the future and trying for a baby. Looking back, I don't really feel angry about it anymore. It was painful at the time, but it also made it very clear who I could and couldn't trust. Mostly, I just feel far removed from who I was when I wrote that original post. I was constantly trying to make sense of people who weren't treating me with basic respect, and I don't live in that space anymore. What do you think? Did I make the right decisions all those years ago? I think I did. Yeah, girl, I think you made them a little too late in my mind. I think you should have walked away sooner, but of course, I think cutting that contact, obviously it was the right decision because she was with your other ex, and then they split up, and now she's with your ex-fiance. It's quite literally more reassurance that you made the right decision. We have more betrayal. I should have expected that betrayal stories were gonna get me this angry, but hopefully I can calm down in the next story. Taking a sip of water though. Cheers. I hope you're having a good day. Drink your water. Guys, look at Lila's new bed for the new condo. She really needed a new bed because the last one is just so worn out. Like you can feel the ground through her bed. So look what I found at Winners. I mean, this is just a bed for the little princess. I'm obsessed. Next story. My pregnant girlfriend has been lying about her age for our entire relationship. Is there any way for me to trust her again? How? Oh, I'm just so surprised that someone could get away with that. My girlfriend and I have been together for a little over a year. When we met, I was 30 and she said she was 25. I'm 31 now and she has been pretending to be 26 for about 4 months. Well, I would love to pretend that I'm younger than I am. We literally celebrated what she said was her 26th birthday and she referred to it as her 26th birthday. She's 10 weeks pregnant, but she found out a month ago. She only told me about it not even 3 weeks ago because she was supposedly nervous about my reaction. She was on birth control, whatever the ring is that is inserted. I know she's being truthful about that because I've seen it and it's even come out of her by accident before. I'm unsure about us having a kid right now. We've been together for a year and we don't even live together. She spends most of her time at my place, but she doesn't actually live there. I guess I also took the risk by not using rubbers, but I have been in other relationships where we've just relied on birth control and it was fine. I do use rubbers, it's just that after we had been together for a while, we decided that we were comfortable enough to just use the birth control. I'm nervous about the idea of us having a baby, and I told her I wasn't sure a relationship of a year is really the ideal stable thing to be bringing a baby into, and she has been saying she knows, but she doesn't think she can't not have it, and then she cries and it makes me feel bad. I'm not trying to leave this all on her, and I will take responsibility. That's not really what this is about. She usually talks on the phone on speakerphone. She walks around holding her phone with it on speaker like they do in all the reality shows so that you can hear everything being said. I do that all the time. Not because I'm on a reality show, but it's so much easier than holding it up to your ear because I do things while I'm on the phone. So I like to just put it down, and then just do things while it's in the abyss. I find it really annoying. I don't want to listen to her full conversations that she has with people. She was talking to her mom and sort of stressed about being pregnant, and her mom said, "I can't believe you're going to have a baby at 23. She said, "You're too young," or something along those lines. All I really heard was the 23 part. I was like, wait, what the f? I sat there silently waiting for her to get off the phone, and then I immediately asked her why her mom said she was 23. She just looked at my surprise like she didn't know what to say, and I don't even think she registered that her mom had said that when I was right there hearing the whole thing. Your own mom doesn't get your age wrong by a whole 3 years. She looked annoyed and also like she was going to cry and said that she really was 23 and that she only lied because she found out my age first and thought I wouldn't take her seriously if she told me she was 22. Yeah, he's 30. A 30-year-old might think twice about 22 versus 25 gonna be 26, Rightfully so. She was 22 when we met, and that 26th birthday that we celebrated was really her 23rd. I just stared at her for the longest time because I didn't even know what to say. She's right. I probably wouldn't have entered into a relationship with a 22-year-old. A hookup maybe, but not a full-blown relationship. I feel like such an idiot. I didn't think I could be this stupid. I've dated many other women that were usually my age, up to just a few years younger than me. I know there's not a huge difference in the number of years between 22 and 25, but 22 just makes me feel weird. I think there's a big difference. I mean, when I think back to 22 versus 25, I guess it depends on the person and the situation. Maybe she seemed a little immature for somebody in their mid-20s, but she has her own apartment, an actual job. She graduated college and has been lying about the exact year this whole time. Yeah, she seemed a little younger than me, but I figured, I guess this is what it's like to date somebody 5 years younger. She presents herself like she has a little more experience than that and acts like more mature, or so I thought she did. She says that she wanted to tell me a bunch of times, but got more scared once more time went on. She keeps apologizing and saying she loves me and doesn't want to lose me. I guess I just can't get over that she's been lying about it for a whole year, like actively changing life info about her life to fit this lie. I still like who she is. By that, I mean that even though I know her real age now, it doesn't change anything else that actually attracts me to her or the things that I like about her. It feels wrong to be like, just because you're 23, I don't like you anymore. It's the lie that I guess bothers me more, even though the age difference also makes me feel like a creep. 23 and 31 now, and he's turning 32. I get it. And she's pregnant. So you got to keep in mind, it's not just dating casually for a year. You guys are now signing up to bring a child into this world together. It makes me wonder what else she told me that has been a lie. Was she on birth control when she got pregnant? I know she was on it at one point in our relationship, but was she on it when she actually got pregnant? I wasn't doubting her at all before, but now I don't know. I'm not somebody who would ever jump to somebody baby trapping me. It's not something I ever thought would come out of my mouth. You have sex, you take the risk, and regardless of birth control, I played a part. But it just makes me feel so much more sick than I already felt over the idea of having a baby right now. I may not have a choice but to be involved with her for a very long time to come, and I am just freaked out by all of it. Maybe I've overreacted. I don't think it was malicious on her part, but I just can't believe she has kept this up for so long. What if anything could ever be done to build trust here again? Is there any way for this to move forward? I think it is kind of malicious though to lie to your partner for a year about your age, especially because if you are, I don't know, there's always a risk of getting pregnant, even when you're on birth control. You hear those stories where it happens, or even if you're using protection, and lying about about your age when someone is already older than you, it's not malicious. You're blatantly lying to your partner over and over again about that. Oh, I don't know. That would really bug me. We have an update, so we'll see how it plays out, and it came 11 days later. So she is actually pregnant. According to her doctor, she is 12 weeks and 1 day pregnant, which lines up with what she had told me. Her due date is really December 20th. They did not do an ultrasound today. Apparently there's an optional one that can be done around this point to look for abnormalities. Am I saying that right? Abnormalities? Hello? My brain is not on right now. Abnormalities? Whatever. You get it. But she doesn't have any risk factors, so her insurance doesn't cover it. It turns out she's actually still on her parents' insurance. I was also able to have a much more serious conversation with her about the age lie. I tried to explain that the issue isn't really about the number itself at this point. At first, I was very focused on the number because many people will think it's gross and they won't know or believe that I didn't really know her age for the entire year. Now it's really just that she maintained the lie for over a year. She let me believe that she was older when we met, celebrated fake birthdays, and made up all these little micro lies to go along with the fake age, including when she graduated, etc. I want her to realize why I can't believe anything she tells me now. I don't want to doubt her, and I'm not one that's going to be having sex with somebody and immediately jump into, "You're baby trapping me." I hate when guys do that. I just can't believe anything, no matter how big or small. She tells me her favorite ice cream is chocolate, and I'm now convinced that that's a lie. She said she understands. She was only thinking about the present when she told me that she was 25 and did not think long term. She didn't know how to get out of the lie and realized she would eventually have to tell me, but she just couldn't figure out how. Maybe just being honest and saying all of that without me having to find out the truth from overhearing a conversation with your mom. She says she understands why I have trouble trusting her now and that she's willing to do whatever it takes to prove that she is not lying about anything else. I asked her to just come clean with anything that I don't know, and I said, now is your chance. She told me that this is not the first time she's been pregnant. When she was 19 and in college, she got pregnant after a one-night stand. She took Plan B the next morning, but it didn't work, and she had to have an abortion shortly afterwards. She said one of the reasons that she's struggling so much with this pregnancy is that she doesn't want to be someone who has multiple terminated abortions. She told me that she's embarrassed that she's had 2 unintentional pregnancies, and she feels a lot of shame about it. She also insists that she didn't get pregnant on purpose and that she doesn't really want to be pregnant now, but wasn't as shocked to find out that she was pregnant as she originally claimed to be. She wasn't using her birth control ring perfectly. I was hoping we'd get some kind of explanation, because the ones like the pills is one thing, you sometimes you miss or you forget to take a pill, but the inserted ones are more like permanent, a little more, I don't know, the results are better, I would say. Nothing's 100% in my opinion. Well, in my opinion, that's just what I've been told. It's not an opinion at all. That's what doctors have told me, that nothing's 100%. Anyways, she told me there were times when she forgot to replace it on schedule and sometimes wouldn't put a new one in until a day or 2 after she was supposed to. So while she was technically using birth control, she wasn't always using it correctly. She had been telling me that she had absolutely no idea she could be pregnant and was panicking because she didn't know whether she was 6 weeks pregnant or 4 months pregnant. The truth is that before she ever took a pregnancy test, she was already worried that she might be pregnant because she knew she had messed up her birth control schedule. So, if I'm counting correctly, that's at least 2 more lies. Her explanation for both was basically embarrassment. She said she didn't want to admit that she had made the mistake with the birth control and that the pregnancy might have happened because she screwed up. On one hand, I can see how what she's saying could all be true. I genuinely think she lied about her age and it went on too long and she didn't know how to get out of it. Doesn't make it right, but I don't think there's any deeper reason for why she did it. I feel better knowing she's actually pregnant, yet not better at all at the same time. I'm just glad to know she wasn't lying about being pregnant because that would be entering deranged territory. Her real age doesn't even change all of the things I really like about her. I don't think she's some evil mastermind who's been plotting to trap me. What I see is someone who's willing to lie when she's scared, embarrassed, or worried about how she'll be perceived. The problem is that those are exactly the situations where honesty matters most. I still care about her. Finding out she's 23 instead of 26 didn't suddenly make me stop caring about her as a person. Now she seems pretty set on having this baby, and I'm not one of those who stay together for the kids type of people, but I keep thinking that if all this stuff about her age hadn't come up, I wouldn't be making moves to leave her. Our relationship has been great and had already been moving towards getting more serious before any of this happened. I guess now I'm trying to figure out whether this is a person who made one bad decision that snowballed out of control, or if dishonesty is simply how she deals with difficult situations. At this point, I'm less interested in whether her lies were understandable and more interested in what I should be looking for going forward. If someone has a pattern of lying when they're embarrassed, scared, or worried about being judged, what signs indicate that they're actually working on that behavior rather than just apologizing for it? I realize I might be an idiot for giving this a try and not breaking up with her immediately, but I just don't want to go into it being a completed blind, deaf, and dumb idiot. I really am curious to know your guys' thoughts. And if this was your situation, happened to you, the truth came out, the age difference, pregnancy, everything, what are you doing? Are you walking away from the relationship? Not necessarily the child, but the relationship? Or are you saying, okay, you lied, we got to move forward? The trust thing is the biggest issue. I'll see you guys in the comment section because I'm curious how we're all going to feel about this. Stay classy out there, stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.